Howdy, howdy, Chris here. We're back in the garage today and we're getting ready to paint this Nissan truck. Darius is washing it down. We've got the roof ready. We straightened some dents on this roof. It had some storm damage, some dents on the other side there too as well. So we're gonna paint this today with the Sagola 4600 clear coat gun. We're gonna spray the clear with that, and then we're gonna do the base coat with the Eastwood LT100. That's that low volume, low pressure paint gun. See this right here? That's oil from your hands. So let's mix up some paint and start spraying. We're gonna mix up some paint and we're gonna do a spray out card. And I wanna do a spray out card to check the color. So we're using Nissan XL. Now this mixes up 2 to 1. So 2 parts of paint, 1 part of urethane reducer. We're using medium. It's a little bit cooler today. We are using the Sagola mixing cups. This is the new DPC system. These are reasonably priced. They really make the job a lot easier. We're finding the 2 to 1 to 1 mixing ratio here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the amount of paint in that we want. We're gonna go to 3. So what we'll do for the reducers, we go to the coordinating 1 here, and we'll go to we'll fill it up to the 3 in the 1 ratio. 2 parts of paint, and from 2 to 3 is 1 part of reducer. Actually, I'm gonna go to the 2. The 2 parts of paint mixed up there. You could strain your paint. There is a strainer on these cups. There is a micron filter on these cups, so we should be good. We click on our lid here. I lift it up to make sure everything's sealed. We'll lock on our collar. We're gonna use the Eastwood LT100, which is the original R500. There we go. 3 coats on this. We're blending this, so I think that color looks pretty good. Here I'm just checking the flop and the side tone with the sunlight. The color's a little bit off, but it'll be definitely blendable. Eastwood LT100. The air pressure we're going to use is about 24 psi. Fluid volume is 2 turns out from closed, fan is wide open. I didn't seal this. Now I definitely could have, and you could seal this if you're doing something like this at home. The sealer is going to help fill in any of those very minor scratches, and it's also going to create one uniform surface for you to apply your base to. Now this base is a little bit transparent, so it would have helped a little bit here if I would have sealed it first. At this point, I just want to get 1 good coat of base on. I want to introduce that base coat to the surface. I'm not putting it on heavy. I just want to put a medium to wet coat on. We'll let that flash off for 15 minutes. Now, by letting that flash off, that's going to help with your coverage. If you try and dump a bunch of paint on right off the bat, it's not going to cover any quicker. In fact, it's going to take more coats. Remember to always let your paint flash off in between coats. Typically, it's 10 to 15 minutes. I've let this flash off just a little bit longer so we can tack rag it in between coats. So tack rag is just a sticky cloth that's going to eliminate any dust that's landed on that surface in between coats. Being that this is a flat surface and we're in an open garage, there's a lot of opportunity for dust to land in this. So we want to tack rag this off in between coats. As far as our technique when laying base coat, you want to overlap about 70%. So when I make a pass, I'm going to come back and cover 70% of that previous pass in order to get a nice uniform finish. So if you have metallics, if you're spraying heavy metallics or fine metallics, you want to have a consistency in that metallic, and overlapping your passes is going to give you that. The way I have this gun set up, my spraying distance about 4 to 5 inches away. that's consistent with the amount of paint that's coming out of the gun. So you want to be aware of your speed and distance when you're applying your paint as well. That will affect your finish. Mainly in clear coat is where you want to be concerned about it. But when you're spraying base, you want to put it on wet enough that you have a nice smooth surface to apply your clear coat to. One thing to be aware of when you're applying your base is you want a nice smooth surface. If you're getting a roughness in your surface of your paint, then that's called sand piling, and sand piling is caused by not putting enough material on the panel, or that material is drying too quickly. So that could have to do with the reducer that you're using. Maybe you're using too fast of a reducer for the temperature you're spraying in. That will cause sand piling, and that's something you just want to be aware of, and make sure you do not get that when you're applying your base. You want that surface to be nice and silky smooth before you apply that clear coat. Here I'm using a sunlight to inspect the panel, and it's important as you go throughout the process of base coat tacking that you're always inspecting the panel. So I'm looking for a transparency in the color, and this is still a little bit transparent. We're going to need at least one more coat. And I'm also looking for imperfections in the paint, particles of dust, anything that needs to be taken care of leading up to the clear coating process. If you need to paint upside down or like a sideways where you have to tilt your gun in an extreme angle, you want to evacuate the air from the gun. So what you do is you turn your gun upside down, pull the trigger. This will pull out all that air from the liner, and then it'll just get paint. So then you can spray upside down. Just a little tip for you. Okay, now we're going to mix up some clear coat. This is the Sagola 4600 Xtreme. Basically a clear coat gun, although it sprays base well too. This clear coat we're using is the Finish 1 FC710. It's a spot panel clear. This has the DVR Titania Pro cap. So this is a 1.2 XL tip. I'll do a final wipe down and inspection of the paint, make sure there's no imperfections that we need to take care of, and then we'll start slinging some clear. Okay, we got 25 PSI, and I've got the fluid wide open. I really love how this Sagola just dumps the paint on. This gun is a beast. It's a beast of a clear coat gun. It'll lay a beautifully flat finish, and it'll do it quickly. Now there is, obviously some overspray with it. Being in an open garage, that's a concern. I did lower the air pressure to 25 PSI, but there's still quite a bit of overspray compared to like the low volume, low pressure paint gun that we were spraying with in the beginning, and the paint, there was very little overspray with that. But you can absolutely not complain about the results. This is a fantastic paint gun. Again, same thing with the clear coat. We're overlapping 70 to 80% on our clear coat. We're overlapping our previous pass by 70 to 80%. You want to have a consistent speed and a consistent distance when you're laying down your clear. Now, because I'm painting the roof and this is a flat surface, I'm able to hit it hard on the first coat. So I'm putting a good amount of clear on my first coat. We'll let that flash off for about 15 minutes, and then we'll lay our second coat on. Well, there is some dust, but man, it looks like glass. Beautiful. Gosh, that thing hammers on the clear. Oh, I got a bug.
Here I'm just washing in this blend with U-Pole number 9. This is just basically a reducer in a can. It's going to soften that clear edge.
You got a little sag there. Dang. And there looks good. Man, that's not a problem. I can get rid of that. Let's take a look at the roof. There was a little bit of trash in this, but look how flat that is. But man, you can't beat the finish of that Sagola 4600 Xtreme. And one of the reasons why I wanted to spray this roof with that 4600 is because it just dumps the paint on. You can spray fast, and being up on the roof on ladders, I want to be able to spray this, get it done, and get out of there. If I was to use the low volume, low pressure on this, I would have had to spend more time up on the ladder. It just would have been more time consuming. It's relatively clean for a flat surface, but you know, there's very little peel in it, which is perfect. We've got a run right there. I can get to it and get it out. So right there, right in there, we got a little run. I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, you can see it right there. But I can get that out. If you're looking for one of the elite guns out there, this 4600 Xtreme is going to do the job. It's going to last you, and it's just going to produce a beautiful looking finish. Now this is going to be clear only on this gun for me, but I'm sure it lays down base just as well. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you found it helpful. If you did, hit that like button, consider subscribing to the channel. We'll see you next time on Garage Noise.